I'm back with my next episode of Sunday Stories. And today, as you all have seen the caption, and as today is Father's Day, my story's name is Dad. This is a story about, I have two short stories and little I'll tell you about my father. Alright, and so the first story, this is about an old man. He was staying in his own hometown and his son had grown up, had gone out of the country to study and got married, had a child, but he, due to his monotonous work schedule, he was not able to come back. When the child came to know that the father had become very sick, he came to take him along with him. Although the father was reluctant, he did not want to give any type of burden to his son, but still his son took his old father with him to his own country. Now this family was not habitual of old people in the house, and as the man was old, he was not able to walk well. He was not able to eat properly. Sometimes the bowl fell down. Sometimes the food spilled on his clothes. His hands used to shake. He was old. So initially, it was a change in the family. The wife, the son's wife, did not like this. The bowl of her expensive dinner set fell down and broke. And there was a hullabaloo, a chaos in the house. Because her dinner set bowl had broken and the set had got spoiled. She told her husband that she did not want this type of behavior again. The grandson used to notice every day both the parents, father and mother, used to fight over these small petty issues related to the grandfather. The grandchild did not know why they fought so much. The grandchild had become fond of grandfather. He was old, helpless, but full of compassion he had in himself. He used to shower love on the grandchild. The father used to shower love. So the grandchild felt very bad when the parents used to fight. One day it so happened that the wife told her husband that your father will not sit in this dining table and sit with us. Let him sit separately during the dinner time and keep a wooden chair and table for him separately, and I'll provide you wooden bowls and all for him so that even if they fall, they don't break. So when the dinner was served, the father was made to sit separately and the family sat at the dining table, and this was observed by the grandchild. Although the grandfather showed no reaction, he was okay with wherever he was made to sit. He had lived his life. He had no complaints from his son or his family. He was a content, satisfied man. So the grandchild noticed all this, although he did not say anything. But later on in the day, when the mother went round finding the son where he was, she saw that the son was at the backyard. And he was cutting wood and carving something. So she quickly went and she said, "You will hurt yourself. What are you doing? What are you carving this for?" He said, "I'm carving nice, beautiful bowls." the mother asked why they already had for granddad. He said, yes, granddad has his wooden bowl for eating, but these two that I'm carving, and I'll make beautiful design over it, these two will be for the both of you. I want you to eat through these beautifully carved wooden bowls, not the bowl the same like grandfather is eating in. So this is for you, for your future, because I might also do the same thing that you did with granddad. The mother was fully ashamed. She realized her mistake. Even the son felt very bad. Why had he heard to the complaints of his wife instead of thinking about his father? His father who had taught him how to speak, how to walk, how to sit, how to eat. How to eat out of glass bowls was taught by the father, not by this wife. So what if you have learned so much, you have become capable so much, because of whom? Because of this old man. He made you so capable that you are able to afford such a big house and nice family and a comfortable lifestyle in the foreign country. He felt very bad. He went and apologized, and they brought about changes in themselves. They realized their mistakes. We need to love our parents, our father. They have sacrificed a lot to provide us a lot. Second story. This is about a small little girl. She was just 7. A cute little girl, chubby, and very intelligent. She was always, she didn't have a mother, and always the father used to drop her to school, and every day he used to pick her up. She was going to one of the best schools of the city. All the good families' children used to study there. She was fortunate that her father was sending her to this nice school that had a very good reputation and was really very nice, and all the good children from all the good families. In fact, all children are good, all families are good, but of their standard, she was able to go in such a big school in the city. So there was an essay writing competition, and they had to write a paragraph on the topic they would select. So, and this contest was held by some company, and whoever was the winner would get a sum amount of 1 lakh rupees, and then the second one would get 50,000 rupees, and the third one would get 25,000 rupees, and then there were many consolation prizes. So everybody, sat down and put their brains and minds and everything to the topic that they wanted to choose and write. So now no one would complain that, this topic my child could not do. So the topic's choice was their own. So this little girl, she wrote an essay on her father. And it was a wonderful essay. The judges liked this essay a lot, and she got to win the first prize. Got the cash prize of 1 lakh rupees. So when the prizes were announced, all the parents were called, and this was a different thing because this contest was held by someone from outside, and the topic was the child's own, chosen topic. And they had no time for preparation. It was, then and there, on the spot, they had to think and write. So that means that brought about the best caliber in the child. Whatever the child was thinking and writing, after putting on your thinking caps, whatever you can write, you write. So it was like that. So, this girl won, the announcement was made and her name was called out, and the father was so happy in the crowd of around, 10,000 or so parents. It was a big hall with all the, couples of the children, all the mother and father parents of the children were there, and he was sitting alone in the middle. And he, when the name of the child was called out, he got up and he was so very happy. And so the lady who announced the prize, she said that this child has won the first prize. The cash prize of 1 lakh rupees will be given to the parent. And then she opened the page and she said, and the topic on which she wrote on was my father. So tears, came out of the eyes of the father, and he was very, very happy. He went up on the stage, ran up on the stage in fact, and took the prize and took the baby, the girl in his arms, and quickly, he came down off the stage, and then on the way home, he said, I want to read what you have written about me that won the first prize. So he opened, she said, all right, you can read. He opened the page, started reading. Dad. My dad is the sweetest man in the world. He is very handsome. He is very hardworking. He gets tired the whole day. He works so much. I can make out from his face when he lies down on the bed and goes off to sleep in a second. He provides me all the things that I need for school. I have got a wardrobe full of beautiful dresses. My father works a lot. He makes me eat all the nutritious and the best food that I can eat. Weekly, he takes me to the best restaurants and the hotels. He makes me do all the homework. He teaches me a lot more than what is there in the books of the class. All the knowledge that I have, apart from the knowledge that is there in the books, is given by my father. And there were more lines, all in praise of the father. Then, before changing the page, before turning the page, there was one line that stopped the man who was walking, they were going back home. It was written, but my father is a liar. He stopped and he felt very bad why this was written. Quickly he turned the page to read. He turned to look at the daughter. What had she written? And the daughter's head was down. He read, that day my father dropped me school. When I turned back to talk to him, I had forgotten something. I turned back to talk to him. I saw my father running back quickly. I followed him. He reached a house which had a washroom, on the street. He quickly went into the washroom, came out in a different dress. When he had dropped me, he was all suited, booted, he was wearing a coat, he was looking so handsome. But when he came out, he was wearing just simple clothes that are worn by poor people. He came out and went into that house, and I saw him clean the cars of that house. My father is a liar. He never told me that he never went to office. I followed him next. After this, I saw him change again into a suited, booted clothes, and I saw him going somewhere, and I followed him. I saw him go into a big office. But in another 15 minutes, I saw him come back with his head down. I saw him talk to someone on the phone that he had not got the job in this office also. She said, my father is a liar. He always told me that he went to the office and earned a lot of money. I again followed him. He changed his clothes again. This time I saw him sit at one corner polishing shoes. I also saw him take newspapers to various places. The next day I again followed him. I saw him putting posters on the walls. So hard my father worked. He was unemployed. But the whole day he worked so hard. He collected all the money so that he could give me the best education in the best school of the city. Now, I wonder how my father did all this. When he took me to the restaurant on the Sundays, it was me who had food. He always used to say that he had his food in the office itself. They provided him with food. He lied. He's a liar. He didn't tell me he was hungry. He didn't tell me how he collected such a lot of money for such beautiful, expensive dresses that I chose when I was taken to the shops, to the malls. I never knew that he did not have a proper job. My father is a liar. But still, I love Dad. The man cried and cried and cried. He hugged his daughter, and the daughter said, "You never told me anything." "I'm not a bad daughter, Papa. I'm not a bad daughter, Dad. I'm always with you. I will support you. We will eat together. We will do everything together, Papa." Father was very, very happy. No wonder this essay had got the first prize. These were the true feelings of the daughter. My father is a gem of a person. I am proud, proud, proud to be his daughter. In my lifetime, I have known two fathers. One is my father and one is my father-in-law. Both are epitome of love and simplicity. I've seen my father. I think I have discussed earlier also that he is a very, very religious man. And I told you an instance in my first Sunday story, if you remember, how he had visited a temple when the temple was closed, and a young man had come to take my father and his friends round the temple, which was closed. The gates opened and they went in, and they were able to go around the temple. Later on, and that man had disappeared. If you have not seen this story, please see the first Sunday story of mine. So my father is a very religious man. And since my childhood, I have been closest to him. My mother used to be very sick. She was an asthmatic patient, and then there were many neuro problems and all. So everything I shared with my father. I shared with my mother too, but I didn't want her to get tensed about anything. My father and myself, we used to go out. We had a scooter in the beginning, and I used to go with him for long drives. Even if he had some work, I used to go with him. And then while coming back, we used to eat ice creams and a chaat pakodi and all that. And we never told anyone at home that we had eaten all that. My mother didn't want me to eat out, more often, street food and all. She wanted me to, maintain the healthy diet and all. So because she used to stay sick, she wanted us to be healthy. And my father used to, I am not able to express, in this video it's a long list that he used to do. But the main role of my father was seen by me when my mother became bedridden. She was bedridden for 15 years before she expired. I am a teacher, you all know. I have to go to school every day. So he was the one who was 24/7 with my mother. We had maids for different works. There was a maid who was cleaning the house, one who was cooking, one who was coming for helping my mother to bathe, everything. Because she was bedridden, she couldn't do anything on her own. She just couldn't walk, she just couldn't sit. We had to make her sit with cushions and pillows or on the wheelchair. We had to make her sit and then used to tie the belt and so that she doesn't fall. All the work was done by my father. I visited them. A quick visit was made by me when I was going to school, and then after coming back, then my duty used to start because I wanted my father to rest after that. After coming back from my school, then I used to go to my mother and sit with her and do all her works. The bathing time we had set according to my school timing, so every afternoon we used to bathe her and dress her up and all the daily course of the natural things that happen. But the main role was played by my father. For 15 years he was not able to go anywhere, not visit any relative, not to any other state, city, anything. He left his office. He took a voluntary retirement only to serve my mother. Whole life my father sacrificed in only giving service to my mother. His true love was my mother. That is why so happily he did this. My mother couldn't go, she had this neuro problem, so she could never feel that she had to urinate or anything. My father used to get everything done on his own. She didn't have senses. It was all done by my father. He's a great man. Someone told me once that just close your eyes and think about God and you'll be able to talk to God. Whenever I close my eyes, I'm able to see my father's face. He's just like God to me. I've told this before. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. On Father's Day, I am so very fortunate to have a father like my father. You all are fortunate. Every father is great in some way. They have made such big sacrifices. All fathers are great. Mine too. We all should be grateful to God. This is just a day when we can wish and show our love. But we need to show our love every day. And one more thing I want to share. My father lives with me now after my mother's death. I couldn't leave him alone, so I brought him to my house. He lives with me. He's living his second childhoodness. If you all know, I have taught in the classes also that, when you are a child, you are a child. But once you become old, you become more than 75, 80, then the old man also starts behaving like a child, and that is known as second childishness, as quoted by Shakespeare. He regards it as so. And so he's become very naughty. He's a diabetic man, but he demands for sweets. He's become just like a child, and you won't believe, on Mother's Day, he bought a gift for me and he said, right now, you are playing the role of my mother. You take such a good lot of care of me. My father told me this. So you are like my mother. Just imagine. And he brought me a gift. He said, you scold me, You do whatever, I just love it. I feel my mother is doing this to me. So, happy Father's Day to my papa also, and to all of your fathers. One more thing before leaving today. After my marriage, I came in contact with my father-in-law. My father-in-law, who is a retired government school principal. He's double MA and he has done such a lot of studies. He by heart knows all the shlokas, the whole of Bhagavad Gita, the whole of Mahabharata. He often quotes, whenever I sit with him, he often quotes those shlokas. Just imagine, my father-in-law is above 94, 95 and he remembers all of this. He's a store of knowledge. I'm blessed to have him as my father-in-law. He was the one who motivated me to keep going on, to keep studying even after marriage. In fact, I did my post-graduation, my B.Ed, that is for becoming a teacher, everything after I got married because of him. He is a man full of knowledge. He knows how to deal with all the different types of problems in life. Sitting with him, talking for just 5 minutes clears all the doubts. Whatever field a doubt is in, he is able to clarify everything. Happy Father's Day to my father-in-law too. And to each of your fathers and father-in-laws, to all my friends, to all my students, I wish you all celebrate each and every day of the year as Father's Day. Do take good care of yourself. Do let me know what all you liked in the episode. We'll meet next Sunday with another story. Goodbye. Take care.